All right, you guys, we've reached the end of Mod 7, so we're just going to do a quick closure notes about everything you can expect on a quiz for Mod 7. So, Mod 7, it's all about congruent shapes. We had, in the beginning, dealt with lots of different congruent shapes, like we had congruent quadrilaterals or pentagons or like six-sided shapes. There was a lot of different weird ones. Big theme throughout that was all congruency statements. So, congruency statements are where the letters around the outside in a certain direction line up with the letters in the exact same order around the other shape. So here, order matters. Remember, if you have sort of this roadmap of a congruency to another one, you can use that to tell which sides are congruent to each other. For instance, I know without even looking at this shape that's like side AB is the same as EG in the second diagram, or like angle D is the same thing as angle F in the second one. Yeah, what I was just talking about is that the corresponding parts are congruent. So the corresponding parts are congruent in the two shapes. The things we'll hold you to are side lengths and interior angles. Remember with interior angles that we have sort of the two methods for stating an angle. So, for example, you could say angle G or angle, EGF. The three-letter version or the single-letter version. Sometimes the three-letter version you have to go with, otherwise it's ambiguous. So necessary sometimes. The second half of the mod, we've really been focusing on congruent triangles. So the four rules we have are SSS, SAS, ASA, and AAS. For SSS, you need three sets of sides that are congruent to three sets of sides in another triangle, side, side, side. You don't need to know anything about the angles. Now, side angle side, you need a side, an angle between them, and another side. I call it the angle sandwich because the angle is directly between the two sides that are slices of bread. Angle side angle would be something like if you have this angle, this side, and this angle, congruent to this angle, this side, and this angle. That's like the angle sandwich, where the two angles are on touching either side of the side. Angle side is kind of a weird one because you do hop a little bit of the triangle, but you go angle, and then side to get here. So we go angle, side. Please remember there is no SSA or ASS or AAA. None of these prove triangle congruency. Also, things that seem to keep coming up are vertical angles. So remember, if you have vertical angles, that's like if you have two lines that cross like this, that this angle is congruent to this angle. So anytime you see vertical angles in a figure, you can go ahead and mark them as congruent and then use them in any triangle congruency that you're trying to do. The other thing that seems to come up with proving these is a shared side. So sometimes you'll have a diagram like, let me see here, something like this, and then they'll, mark this side and this side for you so you know that these are congruent, but then they don't mark this third side here. Remember, if you have a side that's like shared in two different triangles, you can go ahead and put a congruency marking on that to show that it's congruent to itself. All right, you guys, happy studying. Get after the review, ask me questions.